Hello, arcade gamers. Welcome back to Biggie D's Arcade. Tonight we're doing Sunday Chill and Chat live on a Sunday evening, talking home arcade with the community out there. Hope you guys are having a great evening. Let's get right into it. I want to start by just saying hi to everybody who's made it into the chat so far. Looks like the Be Me was the first chat that came through today. His name was Be Me. He says, Glenn, into Biggie show. Sounds like a busy Sunday night. So yes, Glenn, GRS was streaming earlier. I think they had some issues. I was looking on their stream, then they moved over to Twisted Chris's channel to do a stream there. It looked like they were having issues there as well. So I guess not a great night for them on live streaming. Hopefully we don't run into any issues here tonight. I don't think we will. It had something to do with the Terminator intro, I think, is what I overheard. Papa Brad's Gaming is here. He's saying, hello, gamers. Good to see you, Papa Brad. Glad you made it. Be Me is also saying, just got the Glenn's FU email confirmation. It's done and next steps in the process. Okay, great. We're going to look at Glenn's FU here in a little bit. Kind of want to update everyone on the Kickstarter, where it's at. I think it's still available, but maybe it's closed based on that. I'm not sure. We'll have to look. MSU Rich is saying, hey, Biggie, good to see you. Also, guys, I've got a poll going on right now. Do you own an X-Arcade, arcade to TV XR? And we're about to go through this. So if you guys don't know what that is, hopefully you'll be able to vote after that segment. But 50% of the audience are already saying, yes, I own one. 17% said not yet, but in my future. I think that's where I'm going to fall. 33% are saying maybe, I'm considering getting one. And then no, not interested, or a 0. So we don't have anyone yet that's not interested. So that's really good news. So we'll leave that poll going throughout the show, and then hopefully I can remember to go back over those results at the end of the show with you guys so we can see where we're at. All right, so the first thing I want to start with is this X-Arcade, and the reason is there's these X-Force haptics, right? Basically, and I'll get their website pulled up so we can look at it a little more closely. But basically what this is a haptics kit that you can install on your X-Arcade, arcade to TV XR control panel. And basically it's going to put in speakers. It's going to put in a plunger, like a physical plunger. You're also going to have some accelerometers in the machine, which are going to help with the feel and just making sure that you can sense, like if you're moving it, hopefully it'll nudge the game as well, making it feel like a real pinball machine in front of you when you're in VR. We have some adjustable volume control. So all this is like really great, right? But one of the biggest concerns I think for a lot of people were, what's the price of this going to be? Or is it going to come in at $300, $400? Because I'm just out if it's that much. And I was hopeful it would be anywhere in the range of like $100 to $200. So just taking a look at it here, we did get final word. The price, well, at least starting out for the pre-order, are going to be $150. So I think that's excellent. That's right where they needed to be. Looks like it may go up to $200. after the pre-order. So definitely, if you already own one of these and you're playing a lot of VR pinball on it, go right in and get the pre-order. That way you save, it looks like about $50. And then what I saw was it's shipping in November, which is really good because they had said this is coming this year. And it looks like they're going to make that mark, shipping these in November, hopefully arriving well before Christmas time. And this is, keep in mind, like a install your own kit. Like it's just going to come with these pieces, these parts, and you have to install them into the control panel. So you'll have to have a little bit of, I guess, tinkering skill and knowledge and how to do those kinds of things because you'll be taking things apart. But it should come with instructions and give you everything you need to know in order to get up and running. But I think this is awesome. I mean, this is not just any little piece that you're adding or part that you're adding. This is an entire kit, which is really going to give you that full pinball experience. And what's cool is they've been basing this off of, experiences from their customers over the last year playing VR pinball on the control panel without these parts, without these accessories added into it. So they were able to pinpoint what areas they were missing, what they did well, but also what they were missing. And they were able to then implement that and bring us this product. So this has been a well thought out, point to getting to this point. And I think it's nice that it's finally come. I would say, looking at the poll, I'm going to be in that 14% right now, which is not yet, but in my future. And I think a large part of the reason why I didn't run out and go get one of these immediately is, it really was like an arcade control panel first. It had the arcade controls, it had the trackball, it had all that. It even had spinner accessories you could put into it. And that really was more arcade related. And then they later on, after the release of this, got into the pinball aspect of it by partnering with Zen Studios and implementing and integrating that into Pinball FX VR, their whole control panel. And even when they did that, it really all it was offering were the pinball buttons and having that physical device in front of you that you could put your hands on. So when you're in VR, gives you that sense of a real pinball machine. Because when you're just holding those little Joy-Cons, those controllers that come with the Quest, it just doesn't give you that feeling of a machine, like a pinball table in front of you. So this really did that. But outside of that, and being able to have the buttons on the side and maybe giving you a little bit better a little bit better response time, because when you use this, you can get higher scores. You can be better at VR pinball if you have one of these. Outside of that, and just having the physical device in front of you, there really wasn't much else offered in the pinball category. But this haptic kit definitely fixes that, and it kind of drives most of what they're doing now towards pinball. Even though it does offer the arcade control panel, this is really more full-out experience built for pinball and VR pinball. So that's great. I think this is an awesome product. I cannot wait for this to come. And I'm on the fence, well, I got a couple of things I can do here. I can wait it out, and hopefully they make a pinball version, right, with the kit already built into it, maybe offering like a different skin, maybe even like a different form factor for the pinball. That would be really cool, but then who knows how long I'll have to wait for that. Who knows if that'll ever come. Or the other option is go ahead and get this now, pre-order the pinball kit, install it myself, and just go that route and just be able to get into it sooner, and also just, for sure get what I want, where we don't know if they're ever going to make a pinball version of this with the kit pre-installed. We still don't know that yet. So, and I don't think they're going to announce that right now. I don't see them announcing that until this is well out of pre-order and being sold, because they don't want to hurt the potential sales of this during its pre-order phase. So those are some things to look at. P-Dub's Arcade Loft is here. He says, "Hey, Big, thanks for playing in the golf tournament this weekend." That is awesome to see P-Dubs in the chat. He was the one who made the tournament, has been running this whole show since the very beginning, and I think it's a lot of work what he's doing, but I think it's really paying off. The community's really enjoying this golf tournament going on this weekend, and I'm going to talk about that later in the show, so it's good to see P-Dubs in the chat. Kevgrat's here. He's saying, thanks to Mikey Yoon for breaking this news. And Kevgrat, if you guys don't ever check out his channel or follow him, if you want to know about the X Arcade, he is the guy to go to. He's got his fully set up, I think in the perfect way. He's got like a vertical screen right above it. He's even got a separate DMD screen now set up. He's got his own haptic kit that he did on his own, put in his already. He's just got the coolest setup, I think. And, you know, whether you're in VR or whether you're just playing on a vertical screen, he's got the setup for both. So if you want to know how to do that, check out his channel. Atram Fanatics here. I got to meet up with Atram Fanatic last night at Starfighters Arcade. He's saying, hey, man, great to meet you yesterday. Sorry, I wandered off for a while. Yeah, I saw you after we played pinball for a little bit. Atram's not the biggest pinball guy, where I'll spend the whole night playing pinball. He stuck with me for about an hour, but then I saw him go over to like the racing games, like Outrun, and start playing that. And I still kept playing pinball the rest of the night. So, but it was great to meet you. And you even beat me a couple times. You said you're not very good at pinball and you don't play often, but you beat me at least a couple of times. So you're better than I think you give yourself credit for. Kevgrat says they don't need to make a model with it included. Just buy it and add the kit. And I think that's where I'm leaning. Like, I ensure that I'm ensuring myself that I'm going to get it, and I'm going to get it quickly. And there's no possibility of not getting one, right? If I just pre-order now. So that, I think that's the route I'm going to end up going, just to secure one. But I'm still on the fence. I'm still between yes and not yet, but in my future. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, I have the money right now if I wanted to do it as well. But I may wait another week or two, maybe pay rent, right? I'll pay rent on the 1st, take a look at my bills and where I'm going to be heading in the month of September. And if I have the extra money left over, which I think I will, I may just bite the bullet and get it and then pre-order the kit. So we'll see. Devastator Omega's here saying, evening all. Good to see you, Devastator. Atram Fanatic says, yeah, beginner's luck, LOL. But it was fun hanging out with you, man. Yes, it was great meeting you and playing the arcades. I know you're in the area, right? It was a little bit of a drive for me, but I'm always down to meet you out there anytime you want to go. Definitely let me know. I love going to that arcade. We went to Starfighters Arcade in Mesa, which is the best arcade in the Phoenix area. If you guys have not gotten a chance, go check it out. It's amazing. All right, so that there is going to be the X-Force Haptics kit, right? The only other thing that I really wanted to discuss with you guys on the X Arcade side of things is going to be this summer sale that they have going on right now. If you guys do want to get one of these, I think it's an excellent time to do it because everyone's getting 15% off with the ATV 15 code, so make sure to use that. And then if you want any of the other products like the tank stick, they're doing 20% off that with Summer 20. But if you're wanting I think the product everyone wants from them right now, which is this Arcade to TV XR, then you're getting 15%, which I think is a pretty good discount, sizable discount for the summer. And if you guys are considering, use this link that I just put into the chat. If I didn't put it in the description of the live stream, I'll definitely put it down there as well. This is an affiliate link that X Arcade sent out to me, and it will help the channel. It'll definitely help me bring better content to you guys for the X Arcade, because maybe I'll get more exclusive information or early access to certain things if the affiliate goes well. So use that link, guys. If you're ready to order or you're considering ordering, definitely click that, because that'll give me credit for it if you guys do. Let's see. Devastator Omega says the Tank Stick Max is 100% worth it. I have one, and he uses it on the Xbox, the PS5, and the PC. So that's great. Like the Tank Stick's the big arcade stick that this has been out a lot longer, and it's a quality stick. I mean, and buttons, and it's huge, area on the game deck there for your hands and your wrist. And like he's showing, you can plug it into pretty much anything. So if you're wanting to use consoles, PC, whatever you have, you name it, you'll probably be able to hook it up to these devices. Calvin Wong's here. Good to see you, Calvin. Glad you made it. Retro Tech X is here. RTX Pinball says it's showing as sold out. Well, good. So you're telling me there's a chance. So that's good. I'm glad you brought that up. Let's go back to the website and bring that link back up, because it is showing sold out. And I do want to address that while we are on the stream right now. So looking at this website again, you're going to see that it's showing sold out. I think this is always, and I think Kevgret or Mikey, if you guys are in the chat, like you said, you guys broke this news as soon as it hit. Let us know, did it ever show as being sold? Because I assume, and I saw James Hates Everything, he posted about it today, that it's always been sold out. The actual official pre-order hasn't started yet. They've just put it on the website, and it should be starting any day now. But I don't think they've yet become available. But I think Kevgret can confirm for us. RetroTech X RTX Pinball says, I love my X Arcade to TV XR. I use it with Pinball FX, Zakaria VR, and Vertical Shmups. That's great. You're using it for not just pinball, but also the shmups. That's cool. Kevgret saying they emailed me and said it's going on pre-order in the next week or so. So there's our confirmation. You were asking about how it's showing sold out. The pre-order has not officially started. So this is just the landing page for it, and you will be able to pre-order, it sounds like, next week, maybe the week after. But I'll be sure to let everyone know. Make sure to stay a part of my community posts, because I'll definitely post as soon as I know, or even better, follow Kevgret or follow one of these creators you see here, like Papa Brad's Gaming, James Hates Everything. They're a part of our community, and they're going to have that information as well, because they're already influencers for the X Arcade. So yeah, great news that this is finally coming, because we heard about it. We knew it was coming, but we didn't know when or if they were going to hit the mark on the actual release date of this year. So all that's coming in to be just where we want it to be. The right time frame, the right price. Everything's looking great. RetroTech is saying, sweet, I'm hoping to get one day. Kevin Wong's asking the price. So price is right where we wanted, right? Within $100 to $200. They're asking $150 for the entire kit. And I don't know what shipping cost will be, if it's free or there's extra cost for shipping. We'll have to see. But I don't imagine this will be very heavy or very expensive to ship. And then it looks like it's going to be $200 maybe after the pre-order. So as long as this stands $150, I think that's excellent price. That's more than reasonable for what you'd be getting. And then looking at these promo codes here, I don't know if like these will work for that kit. I wouldn't expect that they would, being that it's a pre-order. But if you're looking to get the actual device that you'll need to go with the kit, you can save 15% with ATV 15. So very cool to see that. All right, so that is pretty much it, guys, on the X Arcade that I wanted to discuss tonight with you guys. Next, let's take a look here at No Good Gofers. So No Good Gofers is a Zen pinball table that released back when I had my Arcade 1-Up pinball. When I first got it, I was playing this table a lot on the Arcade 1-Up Attack from Mars pinball. Also, you can get it, I think it's on volume 5 of the Zen pinball pack. So if you're getting it for PC or PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, you can get it on that volume 5. But it's a great table. I think there's a lot to offer with this one. One of the things I didn't like about the Arcade 1-Up is not a lot of these tables played very well on it, and this unfortunately was one of those tables. So I've never really gotten the full experience of No Good Gofers. But it's nice to see that the table came to the ATGames this week, and it was only a price of $5, so very reasonable price of $5 for this one. And I've heard good things. I haven't got a chance to watch a lot of reviews on this table yet, but from the reviews that I've been seeing and the information I've been hearing is it plays pretty well. I know Papa Brad's in the chat. So is RetroTex. Tex X is in the chat. And I know you guys are big time ATGames enthusiasts, also creators. Maybe you guys can let us know in the chat. How are you guys enjoying the new table on the 4KP? Is No Good Gofers a great table for you? Or are there some improvements, some things they need to work on or to perfect it? I have not gotten a chance to play it outside of the arcade one up. I would like to get it for Steam, play it on my computer, or maybe play it on my Switch. But again, this is another reason going back to that X Arcade is eventually No Good Gofers is going to come out on VR. I'm going to be able to play it in VR with that setup if I get that accessory. And then also, even later on, I'm probably going to do like what Kevgret did with the vertical screen and set up a vertical screen behind it. So when I'm not in VR, I can play it at any point. You know, just 5 minutes, real quick game. Don't have to mess with the VR headset and all that. And I'll probably definitely pick up Volume 5 with No Good Gofers at that point. Because I'll be playing a lot more pinball when I get my X Arcade. Atran says, just to note, Biggie D is a chill and cool dude. Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, we met last night. Atran is a great guy. He had some really good things to say about PD7. I know you're a big follower of him. So am I. Good friend of his. Really good to talk about PD7. And just like overall, you know, talking about the arcades you used to play. Him and I played Taxi. You know, talking about Volume 9 that just came out and has Taxi. They actually have a Taxi at Starfighter's Arcade, and we both got to play it. And I'll tell you, it's even more fun to play this table whenever whenever you have experience playing the real Taxi, right? Because it really just kind of makes the virtual pinball version of it even more fun when you have experience with the real one. And A-Train and I both got a chance to play this together at Starfighters last night. And he was telling me he's been playing this table a lot on the PlayStation 2. You'll have to tell us what exact game is that you have on the PlayStation 2 that allows you to play Taxi. It must have been one of those pinball collections. I'm looking to actually get a used PlayStation 2 myself here very soon because I want to get that new Intech light gun that's set up for the PlayStation 2. So you'll have to tell me what pinball collection was that you're playing on it, because I'll want to pick that up when I get the system. Mikey says, what's up, dudes, or what's up, guys? Good to see you. He also says he's driving home right now, and he has me on the phone. Excellent. You'll be listening, hearing in, but don't look at your phone while you're driving. Just have us on audio only. You can watch it once you get home. Brooklyn Minna says, what's up, Biggie D? Awesome to see Brooklyn. We're going to be discussing him tonight because he helped out a lot with the mini golf tournament this week. And I wanted to share his channel and what he's been doing to help out. So good to see Brooklyn in the chat. RetroTexX says, great game, heavy physics, loud SSF, and to me, one of the best. So Pat Lawlor is not someone that I'm familiar with. He must be a pinball creator or designer that originally designed this for Williams, I'm assuming. I don't know all those creators' names, but it sounds like it's playing awesome. He's talking about how it's got great physics and it's utilizing the SSF kit, which is very important. I think a lot of the tables don't do that well, and that's one of the number one complaints I always hear is they just can't hear the SSF kit. So good to hear that's happening and it's working well. Papa Brad's Gaming says he loves it, and he says that No Good Gofers is playing great on the 4KP. That's excellent news, because like I told you guys last week, I'm really wanting to get into that new TMNT HD ATGames. So I'm really hoping that any of these new releases end up being great ones, because I'm going to want to get these tables when I get my ATGames. Calvin Wong says, you have to visit PD7 in the future. Yeah, I got a chance to see him last year at Chicago Pinball, but I don't know yet if I'm going to make it this year. So I don't know when I'm going to get that opportunity next. But hopefully one of these events coming up, I'll get to meet up with him and, hang out for a chance. or for a period. A-Train is saying, yeah, it was a pinball collection on PS2. I'd have to get to you on that, on which one it is. Yeah, definitely let us know. I'm curious on which collection that is, because I want to get that if it's got Taxi on it, and I'm getting that PS2 already. Brooklyn Menace is saying PD7's channel is blowing up. Phil puts in crazy amounts of dedication to his channel. Absolutely. I'm glad that you pointed that out, because I think that's a big part of his success as well, is not just that he's a very likable guy and he's got a very good, I guess, plan for his channel and the way he implements it, right? Doing these walk and talks and all that. I thought that was all a great idea. But even more so than that is, like he's saying, the dedication that goes into what he's doing behind the scenes each and every day. I mean, this dude lives his YouTube, right? His whole life is YouTube. Every day he wakes up and he makes a video for YouTube. So you can never forget like how much time and effort it goes into being successful in a YouTube channel or career, right? I mean, you literally have to put in all the effort every day. There are no days off. You're constantly thinking about, what can I do next? What can I create next? What can I do differently to get my name out there so people will watch, you know? And it's, you really have to put it all out there every day like he's doing. And I'm glad to see his success. Adrian saying, yes, looking forward to meeting Phil. Hopefully next coming year. That would be cool. Calvin Wong says, I think you're biased. All right, guys. So that is, oh, here we go. We got confirmation on what game that is. It's Pinball Hall of Fame, the Williams Collection, PlayStation 2. I think it's their collection. It also has Funhouse and others. Yeah, and that's cool, too, to know that, you know, we're just now starting to get into virtual pinball now because it's becoming more accessible and it's actually getting way better than it's ever been before. Because in the past, we've always played it on controllers, like a console controller. Now we've got these full-on machines that we can play pinball with. We've got virtual reality, all this crazy stuff. But they've been making these pinball collections forever. I can remember them way back to like PlayStation 1, I think even. Actually, we can take it all the way back to the Sega Genesis. I've been playing Sonic Spinball on the Sega Genesis back since I was like 12 years old. So this has been, you know, our whole life. It's just virtual reality, and the ATGames 4KP pinball machine is what's made it that much better. They've stepped it up to the point where now it's like everyone's more interested in it than they've ever been. Have a great show. I'm off to mine now. Okay, awesome, RetroTech. I'll have to check out what you got going on your channel later on tonight. Have a good one. Steps Gaming's here. She's saying, who's got pinball fever? Definitely me. I've been playing a ton of pinball, getting involved in tournaments, playing a lot of virtual pinball, streaming pinball. I did that last weekend. So just really loving it. I can't get enough of it right now. So getting back to the ATGames 4KP. So let's kind of look now at Magic Castle. And it's unfortunate that RetroTech just left us, because he could probably speak on this. I heard him talking about it over the weekend. But this Magic Castle Deluxe, I hear, has got some major issues. Like, this table should have never released. It should have never even been able to be downloaded. It's just in a terrible place right now, and it's got to have some major fixes. Like, you could literally say right now, Magic Castle Deluxe is unplayable, and that's unfortunate to see that. Don't know how this happened. I don't know how they can release something that's literally unplayable, but that's the word on the street right now. Magic Castle Deluxe single pack, which, keep in mind, is $3 more than the Zen pinball table, is unplayable. So that's just unfortunate to hear. Brooklyn saying, I did enjoy getting Chicago pizza when I was in Chicago, but it's more of a meal than a slice. Had a really good time in Chicago. A lot of the Arcades Anonymous guys, we all met up at an Italian place. Had this huge deep dish Chicago pizza. It was fantastic. Calvin Wong saying, Gorgar, Pinbot, Funhouse, Black Knight, Space Shuttle, Whirlwind, Firepower, Taxi, Jive Time, Sorcerer. There are also 3 new tables: Monster Bash, Medieval Madness, and Tales of Arabian Nights. Tomato Sauce is here. Did someone say virtual reality? He is the virtual reality god. Go check out Tomato Sauce. Jabba's Game Hut says, evening all. No Good Gofers was probably the last table that Pat Lawlor made in 1997. He had also made the Addams Family, Twilight Zone, and Red and Ted's Roadshow. That's awesome. Addams Family, awesome table. Twilight Zone, amazing table. And Red and Ted's Roadshow is a very good table as well. You can see, too, how all those tables have some similarities, and you can see how he was the original creator for those. Devastator Omega says, X Arcade must be listening because my inbox got hit with their sales emails just now. All right, so this is Magic Castle Deluxe for the HD. So this would be the one that I guess would release on like that TMNT HD if I end up getting that. I assume. I don't know how that's going to work with the new HD tables when that releases, because it is HD, but it's a different version of HD. It has the DMD screen. So will this pack work with that new one? I don't know. Or will it be a different pack entirely called like the HDP pack? I'm not sure on that. We'll have to wait and see. But this one's $6, $2 less. But from what I was reading on their update on Facebook, this has got delayed. So they released the 4K version for $3 more, but it's unplayable. This one they did not release, and they delayed it. So very weird, very strange, right? Like, why wouldn't you delay both of them? Oh man, what a mix-up with ATGames. You know, they do one good thing with the Gophers game, right? But then they come in and they do this the same week with Magic Castle. Kelvin Wong says, games on that PS2 Williams Hall of Fame pinball CD. Okay, talking about all the tables that came on that collection. Very cool. All right, so that is pretty much the ATGames discussion I had for tonight. I did want to talk about this new T2 that Arcade 1UP released. Not really big, news, I would say, with this one, because it's essentially the same arcade that we had in the previous T2, right? Let me bring up here the website so you guys can see. So if you go to the Arcade 1UP website, the first thing you're going to see now is the Terminator 2 Judgment Day. This is essentially the same machine that they had released previously. Nothing really new to see, except for it's got this new slimmer, like deluxe style cabinet design or form factor. So these are your dimensions. It does not have a riser like the previous one, but it's also not as tall as the previous version of it as well. So I think this is definitely going to need a booster. Hopefully, buy stuff for one of the other stores out there will make a nice, reasonably priced booster for this that matches the artwork and theme. But it's coming in at a price of $5.99. Looks like it's going to be available at Walmart. Also, you can order it on Amazon. I noticed P-Dubs, he was in the chat earlier. He had put an affiliate link out on his page for this if you guys want to go get it. So $600. So I remember looking at potential deluxe cabinets for Arcade 1UP in the future. We had talked about this 6 months ago, and I'd always kind of put Terminator 2 at the top of the list of like which cabinets they would probably bring in the deluxe form factor, because I was trying to think of what licenses do they have left. They seem to have the Midway license, so like MK T2, that would still work. And they also seem to still have Namco, like the Pac-Man licenses. So I was like, T2's probably their next deluxe cabinet. And that's what ended up happening, mainly because they already have the license and they're reusing the same games list, the same PCB, I would imagine, the same send-in light guns, all that's being reused. So very low development cost. Really, the only thing they developed was that new form factor, because they want everything to match. They want them to all be riserless if possible, unless they go to Walmart in those classic versions. And then they also want them to have that slimmer design as well, where it's a much smaller box and it'll fit in retail much better. And it'll be able to be shipped more easily and less expensive. That way they're making more margin, more in their margin. So that was really I think their ultimate goal was to make more money in the long run by releasing this cabinet. Should you go get it? I would say, if you've never bought T2 before, then absolutely. I mean, if you really want to get a T2 cabinet, I don't really see anything wrong with this one, just outside of, not having the height of the previous model. So if you can deal with that and have to get a booster for it, then I would say this would be a good one to get. It's also got the coin door, which the previous one did not have. I think the marquee is going to look all right. The screen, a lot of the people will upgrade this to the 19-inch. So you may want to consider that. But again, it's just one game. It does have some extra content on there, like the making of the game. It does have online, so it can receive updates, and it will have leaderboards. And then you do have that official artwork. So it does look good in the arcade. Like, we were discussing PD7 earlier. That's something that he really takes pride in, is like right when he walks into his arcade, the first thing he sees is Arnold, and he sees Terminator 2 right there at the front of when he walks into the arcade. And I think that's a big part of why this cabinet was successful and why they're remaking it, is they got the officially licensed artwork and they got Arnold on the side, and it looks like the real one. Last night, A-Train and Fanatic and I played this for a little bit, for like 1 credit, just to kind of get an idea of playing the original, because this one was coming out. And that original is a super deep cabinet. So to be able to have something in like a small area and it still look like, and play a lot like the original, I think it's still a decent buy for anyone that wants to get it. Papa Brad's Gaming says, it is concerning to me a table was released where you cannot even reach half the table. He's talking about the Magic Castle that just released, how it's pretty much unplayable. Kelvin Wong says it's better screen, right? It has a better screen. So I think they were both BOE 17-inch screens. I'm not sure if it's got a better screen or not. I'd have to look at some of the information coming out now that it's released, maybe Reddit, Facebook group, or looking at some reviews, watching those to see if I see any differences. But I think the screen is the same as what we got in the previous. Brooklyn Menaces says he's really excited for T2 2D. So he's talking about something completely different. He's talking about this new Terminator 2 like side-scrolling arcade-style game that's going to be coming out. I can show you guys here, just in case you wanted to know what he was referring to here. So this is it here. I'll probably get this too, just because this would be a good one to like play with the fight stick or to hook up to the ATGames Legends Ultimate, because it is definitely an arcade style side-scrolling game. So this would be a good one. It's also got that old like pixel style graphics. So this is definitely one I'm going to pick up. I know it's gotten delayed. It's saying October 31st now. And I don't know what the price will be yet on this. So a couple months away on the Terminator 2D. I'm excited for that one also. So check that out. Devastator Omega says, I would have considered that the T2 had been taller, right? They need to make these cabinets taller, not shorter. And that was one of the things that was best about the T2 cabinet is one, if not their tallest cabinet they ever released. So kind of unfortunate to see they went backwards, and at least didn't keep it the same height. Because those shooting cabinets, like you really want to have it be as tall as possible, because you're standing far away from it and you want that screen to be level with your eyes the best you can. Jabba's Game Hut says Terminator 2D No Fate drops Steam 31st of October. Looks really good. Tomato Sauce says the Shinobi Art of Vengeance comes out next week. The demo is so good. I'll have to check that one out. Brooklyn says he bought the limited online only box set for it. So he got that limited edition version. And it's also coming for PS4, still making games for the PS4. I don't know yet what all, because I haven't really looked into this 2D. I know it got delayed, so I kind of put it off my radar for a little bit, but it is getting closer to the release now, so it'd be good to know these things. Let's see, what is it releasing on? Looks like it's going to release on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox X and Series S, Xbox One. Okay, interesting, because see, I still have my Xbox One in the box. I could throw this game in there and play it on the Xbox One. That's crazy. Nintendo Switch and PC via Steam or Epic Store. I'll probably get it on Steam. That's what I've been doing a lot lately. I've got, you know, a fight stick for the computer. Also makes it easier to stream the content. Also now have this new gaming PC in here that I use for streaming. So I've got my old gaming PC in the living room. So I'm playing a lot more computer games than I ever have. So probably get it on Steam. But it would be nice to get the physical copy. There's so much to be said about having the case and the booklet and the artwork and all that. So may get 2 copies of it. All right, so that is pretty much it on Arcade 1-Up, the T2 release. Nothing else new, right? Nothing yet announced for the rest of this year. So it was that big buck release with the Mossy Oak. It was the T2 Terminator 2 Deluxe, and I think that's it. I heard there's more claw machines coming by the end of the year, but outside of that, Arcade 1-Up's not releasing anything else. Just more rehashes, right? Nothing new. So talking about, you know, 3/4 scale arcades, I'd run across this image, and I've got to give credit to the Cornercade, because this is where I saw it, and I actually did give them credit. Like, if you guys go to the website, you may have already saw this post. Recently leaked image of a possible Basic Fun Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cabinet, and you'll see here credit the Cornercade, because this is who posted this image. So definitely go check him out if you haven't heard of him yet. But this is the possible leaked version of the Basic Fun TMNT. There was so much speculation with that new ATGames TMNT HD pinball coming. We know that's coming. We don't know yet when, but or a price or any of that, but we know it's happening, right? And it's going to be coming to Sam's. So we thought, well, maybe Basic Fun's plans this can't come to fruition, right? It cannot happen because you can't have 2 competitors. I mean, one makes pinball, one makes arcades, but ATGames still makes arcade machines. Can 2 competitors release 2 licenses at the same time and simultaneously sell them at the same time? I don't know if that's possible, but it looking like it may happen. Maybe they've worked this out, or maybe Basic Fun worked this out ahead of time, and being that ATGames is doing a pinball machine, it didn't interfere with this. They were able to do that and make it all work. But it looks like it's going to be a deluxe style cabinet. So this is either going to be that Ultra or the Supreme series. I don't know which one. And then it'll be a 2-player on this version. But so the Ultra would be the 2-player. The Supreme would be the 4-player. We haven't got any leaked images of the Supreme yet, only this Ultra version. But it looks great. I mean, it's got the original TMNT version 1, original arcade game artwork. So that looks really good. Looks like it's going to have an authentic marquee, some good game deck art. And then it looks like a pretty large, like, coin door, like molded coin door, but a much different version than we've ever seen before. Looks really good. I think it fills out that kick plate a lot better, having a coin door that looks that way with the where you can open. It doesn't look like you're going to be able to open it. It'll probably just be molded, but it'd be cool if you could open it up and, you know, not actually put coins in and it like feed the game and start the game, but just put a coin in and it drop into a box that you can open up below it and pull the coins out. I think would be neat. But this is a leaked image that Cornercade put out. I don't know for sure this is real or not, guys. So take this with a grain of salt. I don't know if this is real, but it sure does look good if someone made this. Tomato Sauce says limited run, LOL. You'll probably get it next year. Yes, it takes a long time to get those limited run games. Steps is here saying the Collector's Earthathon on limited run ships May 26th, LOL. That's a ways away. And Yeah, I want to get a physical is what Steps is saying. Hollywood Polo's here. He's saying, hey, Biggie D, Brooklyn, Steps, and the weekly top 40. Did you guys pre-order your X Arcade Haptics upgrade kit? I was talking about that earlier in the stream. I'm really tempted, guys, to do it. I think I'm about a week out before I can make that decision, though. I'll definitely be paying my rent first before I buy it, but I may get it. And it doesn't look like it's going to be available for pre-order till next week anyways, maybe even the week after. So timing may work out perfect for me. Looking back over the poll, guys, we've got 20 votes so far. It says, do you own an X Arcade Arcade to TV XR? 40% are saying yes, they do. So that's a large number. 15% are saying not yet, but they are. It's in my future. I'm going to get one. I fall in that category. 20% say maybe, I'm considering getting one. So they're on the fence. And now we have 25% saying that they're not interested. So a quarter of those votes, not interested at all yet, or may never be. Step says 2-player Turtles. I've never seen one of those in real life. It's 4 players. I don't think they ever did have a 2-player. So this would be not true to the original. Mikey Yoon says, man, Cornercade, what a valid, trustworthy source. He definitely stays on top of the Arcade 1-Up, Basic Fun, these 3/4 scale arcades. He's on top of that stuff. Step says, I'm really not into pinball at all. Like casually playing a Stern Sure. Talk to me about a Mega Drive or PC Engine, LOL. So that's going to be our Basic Fun news. Not much there outside of just that TMNT. We do know, though, that there are other cabinets coming. We've talked about it many times. There's a WrestleFest that's going to be coming here very soon. There's also a Centipede, and then there's a Tempest. So there's 3 cabinets for sure coming this year. And then word on the street is that those pre-orders are going to start in about a week, and then they're going to ship here in about 5 weeks. So at the end of September is when they're going to ship. So we're only about 5 weeks out from people receiving their units. And then about a week out from the pre-order, supposedly. But there's been nothing leading up to it. So they're really tight-lipped. They're really good about not letting their information leak because we've heard nothing. But that is the word that it's just like literally like less than a week away that people will be able to pre-order Basic Fun cabinets. We haven't heard about TMNT, but we do know the WrestleFest, we do know the Centipede, and the Tempest cabinets are indeed coming. So very cool to see a new competitor enter the ring, be a part of the home arcade, business plan, like making these 3/4 scale or larger home arcades like Arcade 1-Up is doing, like Iconic Arcade is doing. They're going with that same business plan. And it's nice to see new competitors entering in because that's just going to make the products even that much better. It's going to give us more options. Also, it allows for better, more competitive pricing. They can't, create a monopoly like Arcade 1-Up wanted to do and then jack up their prices. They won't be able to sustain that with these kind of competitors. Mikey is saying, yes, make sure you rent is paid for first. Absolutely. We'll be taking care of that before I buy the X Arcade. But I'm right there, guys. I'm ready to get one. Jabba's Game Hut says, Switch to Elden Ring is running at 15 frames per second. Oh, that's terrible. That is not good. A-Train Fanatic says, I guess they are still playing the TMNT movie in theaters until August 28th. So we got about 4 days left, guys, if you want to go see that new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Well, you can't say new. Classic original TMNT movie in theaters. It may be new to some people out there, though, have never seen it before. And it's great that they get to experience that movie in the theater. Brooklyn Menace says, Cornercade's golf match against Chaotic last night was great. I'm glad you brought that up. Because let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time. Let's talk about this tournament because this was in the center of the thumbnail. I wanted to make it a center of the discussion tonight. And that's going to be this Walkabout Mini Golf tournament that started yesterday. I talked about this last week, gave you guys a little bit of a heads up. I encouraged everyone to join that P-Dub's Arcade Loft was going to be doing the Pixel Putt Tournament. And I played yesterday at noon, and I played against JT, and I actually had a very good score. I had a -1, so I had an excellent score out there. I thought I did very well, but I actually played probably against, I think, the person who's going to win the whole tournament and he has scored a -11 against me. I think his score was either a -9 or -11. Let me see. I actually have the bracket, and it has the scores on there, so we can look at these together. All right, so where am I? There I am. So yeah, -1 to -11. Like, how in the heck does anyone beat -11? That's absolutely impossible. Like, no one's getting a better score than that. And I just happened to pick or get the most competitive, best player to play against in the first round. So I didn't do very good. But the whole thing was broadcast on P-Dub's channel. He did round 1 and 2. And I thought he did an excellent job. Let me get this pulled up here for you guys so you can kind of, if you guys didn't see this already, you can get an idea of what it was like. But this was on P-Dub's channel, right? And this was, who was this? That was, this was Bill versus Meatball Saucy, I think it was. And, but he jumped around. He had his wife wearing the PSVR 2 headset. And so P-Dubs is in his game room, right, up in his loft, streaming the whole thing, doing his full-on show, right, with his graphics, his chat, going from stream to stream, or from game to game on his stream. And he has his wife downstairs wearing the PSVR 2 headset, doing all the camera work for him. And it worked out great. We got to see a lot of matches live on air. And it's really cool to be, because you enjoy playing the game, but it's really cool to watch it on a live stream and have someone like P-Dubs or Brooklyn Menace giving the commentary, being the announcer. It just really adds to it, and it really gets the chat going, especially the people that are involved in the tournament. Everyone's going off in the chat, having a great time. And it was just so fun yesterday. It was like literally being in a real golf tournament, just virtually at our home yesterday. It was really fun. And this was the first one that P-Dubs has ever done, but I thought it went really well. He did have some hiccups, problems with the tournament and how he was placing people in the bracket and all that, because he had submitted it too early. But we ended up working through that and just doing our games the way they were supposed to be. And then he's going to manually input all that into these brackets that we're looking at here. So this is where we're at right now. We've got... let's see, Cornercade, -1 against Sexy MG, who had won, so he moved on. Cornercade then played Chaotic BPR. So Brooklyn Menace, he did a couple of streams after that yesterday. He did one with Stock Jock versus My Family, and I've got a brief clip of that stream for you guys. So if you want to get an idea of how that went and what that looked like. He did it a little differently. He did it basically on his PSVR 2 headset, but he didn't stream it like P-Dubs did. He just logged into his YouTube on his PS5, jumped right into the match, and just streamed it right to the console to YouTube. And I thought that went really well too. And his camera work, you've got to give Brooklyn his credit and give him his props. He is really good at camera work. You can kind of see it here in this short clip here. He'll get right down by the hole, and he'll just get you the best view of what's going on. And he's got really good commentary too, just as good as P-Dubs, if not better. He's just got a lot of energy. He's really into the match, and he's telling you anything and everything that's going on in the moment. And it was really fun to have Brooklyn do at least a couple of streams yesterday. And maybe we'll see some more of these before the tournament's over. I would have liked to get involved today and streamed one of the matches this afternoon, which was James Hates Everything versus JT. But I'm streaming here tonight, and it would just be too much to try to make all that work. So I wasn't able to help out and stream. But maybe here in the next round or something, I can get involved and streaming, because I do have a PSVR 2, and I would love to help out any way I can. So there was another one that Brooklyn did yesterday too. So he did the Stock Jock versus My Family, which Stock Jock had a 15 and My Family had a -3. And then he also did, oh yeah, so we watched the Retro Bill versus Meatball Saucy. Let's take a look at his stream of, oh, he did the Cornercade versus Chaotic. And I've got some of that we can look at. And this was a very entertaining stream too, guys. This was really entertaining. You've got two big time content creators here in Chaotic BPR, as well as the Cornercade, and they were against each other, and they had this long intro. It was very much they were on the camera, you know, doing their normal routine, introducing themselves and all that. And this was a really tight one too. This was like neck and neck the whole time, the full 18. They actually had to do like a final hole, like a sudden death. And Chaotic ended up winning by 1 stroke in the sudden death because they literally tied at the end. So they were able to determine the winner by doing that sudden death there at the end. Chaotic moved on. But again, this one was also Brooklyn Menace as well. So definitely go check out his channel because I thought he did an excellent job. But so let's look at these brackets again. So we've got Chaotic. He beat the Cornercade by 1 stroke, moved on. Now he's playing Mr. Hector. That may happen tonight or it may happen tomorrow. I don't know yet if we have word on when that's going to happen. Ritual Dello versus the Real Rebel. Ritual Dello moved on. I don't know yet, when that'll be, we still got to get a winner out of Mr. Hector and Chaotic BPR, but once we do, I don't know when that winner will play Ritual Dello, but I'm sure it'll come up in the next week. JT versus James Hates Everything. I have word that JT won that match right before I went live. So JT will be moving on. And My Family versus Retro Bill. I think My Family won that earlier today. And that's already on P-Dubs. He recorded it. And he uploaded it to his channel already, so you can go watch that one. So it'll be My Family versus JT on this side. And then on this side, it'll be, who knows? We still don't know yet. It'll be Ritual Dello, Mr. Hector, or Chaotic BPR, one of those 3. And then we'll get down to our final. And what's really cool is P-Dubs Arcade Loft has made some really great prizes available to the winners. First place gets a $100 Amazon gift card. I think second place also gets a $100 gift card. And then third place gets a $50 Amazon gift card. So there's like a bunch of prizes, highly, $100 prize is pretty big, I thought, especially since this isn't sponsored or anything like that. Also, I think Goofy Foot, if I'm right on that, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Goofy Foot's giving away a prize as well to the winner, which is one of those attachments for your controller, which is like a putting it's like a putting adapter accessory that you put on your controller. It makes it feel like you're holding a real putter. So that was cool of him to make that available to the winner. And another prize. Step says, Biggie, are you getting a basic fun? I may. We'll have to see what these things look like. We don't have much information on them, right? We don't know what the UI looks like. We don't know what the games play like. We do know they're not going to be online, so no leaderboards or anything like that. But we'll see. I mean, I think the WrestleFest is a really big one. If that one plays well and it looks good, I think a lot of people are going to be interested in picking that one up, especially with Hulk Hogan passing away. He's in the game. And that one never being available, this is the first time, it's brand new, they've ever done a WrestleFest home arcade. I think that's going to be a big seller. Brooklyn saying, dude, I played awful yesterday. I knew I was in trouble when it was 8-bit layer. Yeah, that was like the worst course to do a round 1, right? Was 8-bit layer. What was your score, Brooklyn? Let's see, where were you? You're on here somewhere. Oh, you scored a +9. Okay, so yeah, you didn't have a very good score, but I don't know if you had the worst score. Stock Jock had Meatball Saucy had the worst score with 19. So you did it a lot better than he did it. Tomato Sauce says, P-Dub stream was fun to watch. It made me look into Walkabout again, and it got me to buy a few more courses. Some of these courses are actually beautiful, amazing art style. They stepped up their game. Absolutely, they did. I thought this is such an incredible VR game. If you guys have never gotten the chance to play mini golf or just VR in general, but especially mini golf, it is an awesome VR game. And what's cool about it is it's, you know, a lot of VR games will give you motion sickness because you're moving around. Well, with this one, you're not moving much. Same with the pinball. Like the VR pinball, you're standing in front of a machine, so you can't really get motion sickness. Same with this. Like, you don't really get that with this game. So anyone can play this and really enjoy it. So I encourage everyone to get a VR headset. And I would say the very first game to get is Walkabout. I would say this is the best VR game you can get right here. Walkabout Mini Golf. And it's just really fun. They've got some really good courses out. The new Tokyo course that just dropped, I can't say better things about it. It's such an awesome course, especially the nighttime one. If you do the hard one at night where it's like raining and you're in Tokyo and you've got the cats and you got the spirits. If you guys have played it, you know what I'm talking about. But that new course, they hit it out of the park with Tokyo. Calvin Wong says Nobody 2 is in theaters now. I'll have to check that out. I've heard very good things about that movie. Well, we got a lot of chats here, so I'm going to skim through some of these. P-Dubs Arcade Loft says there are 4 matches today spread out among many hours due to everyone's Sunday schedule, so live stream wasn't going to be an option today. But we do get some videos, like some pre-recorded videos we can watch of those matches, which is very cool. He says he needs to check that out. Talking about Golf Plus, maybe doing a Golf Plus tournament would be very cool. I've never played that, but I've heard really good things about that VR game as well. And Tomato Sauce says Brooklyn is the godfather of VR. Very cool. You know, I would say the godfather of VR is Tomato Sauce, but Brooklyn was right there neck and neck with him for a long time making VR content. But I've noticed Brooklyn's gone more of doing like shmups and Switch 2 lately. So I would have to hand it to Tomato Sauce as the VR god for right now, at least. Kevgret says classic YouTube trope. Talking about I guess the mini golf tournament. I know Kevgret, I did reach out to him and say, hey, do you want to join the tournament? He declined. I was hoping he was going to join, but he didn't. Maybe next year or next tournament, whenever we do the next one, he'll join us. Brooklyn says Ritual Dello is playing on his phone and killing it. So yeah, that's another thing, guys. You don't have to have a VR headset in order to play this. You can actually play it on your cell phone. So anyone can get into these tournaments, or just playing mini golf with your friends. Literally, all you need is a quality, like, decent cell phone in order to play these games, to play mini golf. So it is available on Android, I think Apple phones as well, and you should be able to play with us. So don't let the VR headset stop you, because Ritual Dello is having a really good time being a part of this without even owning a VR headset. P-Dubs Arcade Loft says, hey, Polo, I announced the tournament and had the streams and links open to anyone who wanted to play. They didn't sign up. So, yeah, we had it open for about a week, and we got 18 out of 20 participate. We only were left with 2 openings. So there was still opportunity. If anyone wanted to join, you guys could have. Next tournament, I'll give everyone more heads up, hopefully, and I will make it as well known as possible. You know, promote it as much as I can, because these things are a great opportunity to bring the community together, to bring people that typically don't play mini golf together, to bring them into this tournament and, you know, make friends, and just maybe you've got enemies in the community you don't like, but this is a good opportunity to make amends and, you know, see how people are doing, and just be a part of a bigger, you know, thing going like the tournament. Kevgret says, Hollywood, I don't play in tournaments where the host accuses my friends of cheating in pinball. Okay. Well, we'll leave it at that. I don't want to get into, you know, specifics on certain situations like that tonight. Brooklyn says Golf Plus is really good. Got to check out Golf Plus. And Hollywood Polo says Brooklyn is the chosen one of VR. And Steps Gaming says, so the community is busy playing cell phone games. I'd say majority of us play it in VR. There is one Ritual Dello that plays it on his phone, but he has no issues doing it. He's actually very competitive. So even you, Steps, if you wanted to join in, become a part of this tournament, you can in the future, tournaments that we do. Don't let owning a VR headset stop you from being a part of any Walkabout Mini Golf games or tournaments in the future. All right, so that is it, guys. We'll keep track of these brackets and where things are heading until we have a winner, and then I'll definitely, on our next stream or whenever I'm streaming next, give you guys the winner and how that all went down, because I'll be paying attention, that's for sure. All right, so talking tournaments. I've actually got a tournament going on this week. I haven't been doing these pinball tournaments. I've done a couple of them since I started my channel, but I kind of quit doing it because it's a lot of work, right? Setting these up, making sure the leaderboards are up to date. It's just a lot of work, planning these and organizing them. And I probably won't do these regularly, but since we had Camp Bloodbrook on Pinball M, it was half off this week. I thought that was an excellent deal, right? It's normally $5. They're selling it for $2.49. You can get it on Xbox, PS5, Steam, I think Epic Games. You can also get it on the Switch or the Switch 2. However, if you get it on Switch, and RetroTech X, who was in the chat earlier, he ran into this issue where he got it on Switch and he wanted to participate in the tournament, but he was unable to because he was playing it on Switch. And Switch does not integrate with the other consoles and PC for the leaderboard system. For whatever reason, Zen Studios has not been able to get that to work. So Switch is on its own, right? You're only competing against other Switch players when you play Pinball FX, FX3, or Pinball M. I do own a lot of, I own a Pinball M game, Chucky, on my Switch. I also own some FX and FX3 games on my Switch. I enjoy playing them that way because it's portable. I can take the system with me wherever I go. Also, you can play in vertical mode on the Switch. But keep in mind, you can't participate in these larger tournaments on that console. So just want to make that known. But this is a Pinball M tournament, so you have to own the Pinball M game, right? It's different than Pinball FX, but it's still Zen Studios. And you can play it on PC, PS5, or Xbox. Our rules are classic. And you're going to search for Q98EBYIE19. You're probably asking me, why did I make the name of the tournament something crazy like that? Well, it's automatically generated. In FX3, you used to be able to create the name of your tournament and what you search for. But I guess people were abusing that and, making inappropriate or unappropriate names. So now it automatically generates that for you. You have no way of changing that. So you'll just have to search for those letters and numbers there. Q98EBYE19, and you'll find it. Now, when I posted this, there were 7 days left. Today, there's 4 days left. So you got to be quick. You only have a few days after today to be able to participate. But there's only 5 chances. So you only get 5 opportunities to play. And whatever your highest score is in those 5 games is what's going to go on the leaderboard as your final rank on the leaderboard. This keeps it a little more competitive. Also, it doesn't make it as difficult because there's no what we call API integration for the leaderboard system. So I can't, even though I've plugged in the leaderboards to my website, there's no way for me to automatically update those leaderboards right now based on Zen's leaderboard system. I've looked into it. So I have to actually go in here and I have to physically, manually enter everyone's name and scores. So, and how I prevent that from becoming too cumbersome, too much work, is I only allow 5 opportunities. So that makes it a little more competitive and it allows me to keep track of the scores a little more easily so I can keep this leaderboard up to date. And this was up to date as of right before the stream. And we've got 15 players in the tournament so far. So I thought that was a really good turnout for my first one in a long time. But this has everything you need. It's got the, and I'll put this link in the chat here if you guys want to go look at this with me. But you've got the name, Pinball M, Camp Bloodbrook. You're searching for this here, right here. Here's your platforms. You get 5 attempts. It's going to end on the 28th. So August 28th, this tournament will end. So you only have 4 days left. Be 3 days really after today. There's no password required. So as long as you search for Q98EBYE19, you can get in without any password. So let's take a look at the leaderboards, because this I thought was interesting. So this guy here is our leader right now. I don't know him personally. I don't even know if he's part of the community. He may have just saw it on the available tournaments because it's open to anybody and join. But this guy's a real heavy hitter. You can see he spends a lot of time playing this Pinball M. He's a level 130. He's played over 4,500 sessions of pinball. So, I mean, this guy he's a what we call a pinball wizard, like a true pinball wizard. His score is 432 million right now in first place. I'll update that if anybody can pass that score, but I doubt that'll happen. Because look, he's almost doubled up even the next highest score of 282 million. And then we've got a score of 225 million in third. And going down the list here, Angelo Retrotech, who was in the chat earlier, he's got 54 million. Amused to Death, also Gregory, he's at 50 million. Sacro, 49 million. Jabba, who's in the chat, I saw he's in the chat. Where are you, Jabba? Here he is. He's at 40 million. So he's right there in the middle at rank 8. He says, I played terrible on this table. Totally forgot I had Pinball M. Thanks for the tournament, though, dude. Yeah, it's easy to forget about Pinball M because there's not a lot of available tables yet for it. There's only like 6. So you kind of forget about it sometimes. And I wish they integrated Pinball M into FX, but I understand it's a mature audience only. So I don't know how they would do that. But it is separate game entirely. P-Dubs Arcade Loft, who is in the chat as well right here. He's got a score of 32, almost 33 million. Very good score. He's at a rank of 9. He says, Polo, I said a few weeks ago I wanted to host 3 tournaments, a golf, an arcade, and a pinball. Golf wraps up next weekend, so maybe a couple weeks from now he'll do an arcade or pinball tournament. That'd be pretty cool. I think the more tournaments we can get going like this, the better. Just makes it much more enjoyable playing these tables when you're in a tournament and you're competing against your friends. It just makes it a lot more fun. Ojib, who is normally in the chat, he is right here at 27 million. He may be watching. Maybe he'll show up here in the chat here momentarily, but he's got 27 million. He's a rank of 10. Papa Brad, who I saw in the chat earlier, he's got a rank of 11 with 27 million. Very good score. You are just right behind Ojib. I mean, I don't know if you have any opportunities left, Papa Brad, but you're right there. Just not far behind. Checkout Girl. So Muse to Death, Checkout Girl. They are husband and wife or boyfriend, girlfriend. They live together. So they play all the time together. So you'll see a lot of their scores in the same tournament, or you'll see those names pop up in the same tournament. She's got 19 million. And then this is Shasta Carta with 13 million. Here I am at towards the very bottom at 14 with 11,759,000, and Game Knot with 3 million. So 15 people involved in the tournament so far. I'd say that's a really good turnout. So go check this out, guys. Camp Bloodbrook, very good pinball table, I would say. I think this was originally created to be like a Friday the 13th. Jason table was what I think it was originally developed as, and then they probably lost the license, or maybe they never had it, and they ended up changing up the name and stuff so they could still utilize like the development that went into this table. But it's a lot of fun to play. I've really enjoyed it. There's a lot more I got to learn, There's a lot of tips. People that have played this table a lot can give you tips on how to get higher scores, because there's some tricks of the trade you have to know, I think, to be good at this one. And this one is 50% off. This sale ends tomorrow. So if you guys are interested in getting this, I would say either get it tomorrow or wait for another sale, because these go on sale all the time. But right now it's half off, so go get it. And even better, participate in the tournament and contribute your score. That way we can rank you among everyone else. Steps is saying she doesn't have an X Arcade. Brooklyn doesn't have an X Arcade. So make sure to vote. Are you not yet, but in your future, maybe you're considering one, or no, you're not interested. We've got 27 votes so far. P-Dub says, thanks, Big. Yeah, first time mistakes, you learn from it. Talking about the tournament here, you know, this is the first time that P-Dubs has done this, but I thought you did an excellent job. It was also good to see everybody in the community coming together to contribute to try to make it a better tournament too. Like, I was making graphics like thumbnails and stuff, and community post graphics for Brooklyn, because I wanted him to be able to promote it, get his name out there, because he was spending a lot of his time Saturday streaming these rounds. Same with P-Dubs. A lot of effort goes into these behind the scenes. So I want to thank you guys as well for making this happen, because it's a lot of fun. You really don't know how fun these tournaments are, whether it be pinball, whether it be the mini golf, until you really get involved in them. So if you haven't yet, join us and see what it's all about. All right. Devastator says, man of true culture, I still have a rotary phone in my home. I remember those. Been a long time since I've seen one, though. Back when everyone had the wood paneling on the wall, and you had that, my aunt and uncle had the wood phone on the wall with the rotary. Calvin says, yeah, why no Pinball M on VR? We've got to get Pinball M on VR. There's so many tables yet to have hit VR. We just got that Williams Volume 9, which I thought was a really good pickup. But there's still a whole backlog of Williams tables that still haven't come. Like, I'd really like to get the No Good Gofers on VR. But any of those previously released Williams tables, as well as all the Pinball M tables, the Marvel, the Star Wars, all that stuff eventually will come. It's just a matter of time. Ojib's here. There he is. He says, done. He did the tournament. He's done. And he's got a decent rank, I would say, coming in. Let's take a look at that again. Where you at? Where you at? You are 10. So you're in the top 10. And Kevgrit says, Jabba, we got our hands full with VR pinball. Need to do more tournaments on Pinball M. It's a good crack. Yes, I'm going to try and do these as often as I can, but I'm going to still limit them because I don't want to get burnt out. That was what happened last time I did the tournaments. I did like 4 of them in a row, like 4 weeks in a row, and I got a little burnt out. So I may just do one of these like once a month for a week. That way, keep it fun and not too much work. Brooklyn's saying, I'm going to stick with my 8-bit dough because I'm fine playing pinball with just the controllers. If I had an X Arcade, I would use it for shoot 'em ups, and I can do that already without taking up the space. We'll see. Brooklyn may end up getting one once we get these pinball kits. We'll have to see. He may get the FOMO at that point. All right, guys, so I wanted to talk about Glenn's FU, his Build-A-Cade FU, right? This has been going on for a while, and it's finally coming to an end. It may be over, actually. I saw him streaming earlier, and okay, it looks like it did end. It officially ended, guys. So this was the last screenshot that I saw for it. Was over $500,000, $500,000. I think he went way over that before the end of the Kickstarter. I do have the website pulled up here, so it appears that it is over with. Let's just test it and see. I'm going to go down here to see, no, I can't see. It's all grayed out. I can't even pledge at all. So it looked like he had 85 backers. no, 280 backers with $538,318. Or no, $538,318. I've been looking at these high pinball scores all week. I apologize, guys. I'm thinking millions here. This is $500,000. So $534,318 with 280 backers. So that's awesome. I mean, this is really he hit this out of the park. This has been a home run. It was fully funded, I think, in 7 or 8 minutes. So he's well surpassed his goal. Just great to see Glenn get this recognition, to get this product off the ground, because this has been his labor of love. This is something he has been well planning for years now. For 10 or more years, he's been planning to finally release something like this, and for this to finally actually end up happening, and for it to be so successful, I think it's just a real big accomplishment. And I want to, spend some time to discuss this tonight. I know the Kickstarter's over. No one can back it. And we've been talking about this for months now. There's nothing really new to discuss about it, but really just to take a moment of appreciation for Glenn and what he's doing for the community, and really just recognize him for like such a big accomplishment in what he was able to achieve with this. To be able to raise over $500,000, to have almost 300 backers on something like this, which is a Kickstarter, which has some risk, right? This isn't a 100% risk-free purchase. There's people are kind of going out on a limb. They're putting a lot of trust into Glenn to back something like this, and to back something like this at this amount of money. It just really shows, the reputation that Glenn has in the community. Just how good of a person he really is, how trusting he is in like what he offers. He offers really quality products. He's always putting himself out there. He's always streaming and giving us, all the communication we could ever want, answering questions, anything and everything we've asked of him, he's put out there for us. And it's just really good to see him get that recognition, to get this achievement under his belt. This huge Kickstarter, to start from these little miniature micro scale build-a-cades to a full-size arcade, I think is a real big accomplishment. So props to Glenn. This was, I think, very well done. Couldn't have been done by a better person than Glenn. And I know he was a part of our show here a couple weeks ago and spent, an hour and a half talking to us about this product. And I personally wasn't able to back it. There were a couple of reasons behind that. Number one, it was expensive, right? It started at $1,000. If it had just been $1,000 flat and it didn't have that $350 shipping, I would have had to done it. Like, there been no question. I don't need it. I don't have room for it right now, but I would have had to buy it at that price. But just that $350 shipping was the reason I didn't get it. But also, I think more of the reason why I didn't move on this is I already have that iArcade, right? I have the iArcade with the Glenn's Ultimate Control Panel, which I can sideload games onto, which I eventually could put the Viper Venom board into if I wanted to later. I've also upgraded the screen to the 19-inch BOE replacement. So I put a lot of time and work into my iArcade, and that really is my ultimate multi-cade. I don't need another one. Also, I'm living in an apartment, a smaller space. I don't really have the space for a full-size cabinet either. So those were really the factors into why I didn't get it. I already owned it, didn't really have the room for it. And even though it was an incredible price, I mean, there's nothing you can complain about as far as the price. It was just a little bit more than what I could afford at this moment, only because of the shipping. If it weren't for the shipping, I would have just done it, even with all those other factors involved. So that just really speaks a lot, I think, for this product. Is I didn't even need it. I had no reason for it, but I was still heavily considering getting one because it's just that great of an offering. And so go check out Glenn's Retro Show. I'll be following, all the information he provides us over the next few months as this releases. And let's go back to that, actually, because I had that graphic pulled up, and let's look at the timeline of the release. I kind of asked a hard question on this. I was like, is this going to indeed happen at this exact date? And he said that this can change. It can vary a little bit. And it kind of looked like he didn't want to commit to these exact dates we're seeing on this timeline. But if he hit these dates, I would not be surprised, because he will always kind of overcompensate for things like that than undercompensate and give us, you know, like a worst case scenario rather than overpromise. So it looked like production, let's see, production's going to start in August 2025. So we've already started production, or we're about to any day now in the month of August. So for the next 90 days, production will be ongoing through November. Then the freight will start in January of 2026. So right after Christmas, first month of next year, the freight will start to ship out. By the end of January, that freight will have all been shipped out. So all 200, I don't know exactly how many units he sold. Said there were 280 backers, but some of those backers could have gotten 2 units. So I don't know exactly how many total units were sold, but how many ever were sold in this Kickstarter will have shipped by the end of January, according to this. And delivery, meaning it will arrive at your home on your doorstep in these several boxes that it's going to come in by February, March of 2026. So we're not far. We're about to hit September. So we're literally less than 6 months now from these getting delivered. So this is going to be an interesting product to follow. Also, just being a big supporter of Glenn, I'm going to be, you know, honed in on any new information that comes out on this. So make sure to stay tuned in, because we'll be following the GRS FU Buildicade and the release of this cabinet. Jabba's Game Hut says it's hard table. Talking about Camp Bloodbrook, he says I've still not hit 10 million, still in the top 10. I think you're talking about that, but you may be talking about another table. Not sure on that. Brooklyn Menace says game ended 2 and broke over 1 million in backers. So yeah, talking about Kickstarters, I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm interested to see how that ended up going. I didn't back the game light gun either. Real reason behind that was it was limited, right? It was limited to just Time Crisis, Point Blank, Steel Gunner 1 and 2. And I have the Send-In light guns, and I have the Retro Lizard light gun build for my PC, which has all these games already. So I didn't really need these 4 games. Even though I thought this was a great deal, I could have bought this and not even thought twice about it and been super happy with the purchase, but I ended up not backing it. But they raised over $1 million, so more than double what Glenn did, with over 5,000 backers. So that's incredible also. I'm really interested in seeing where this product goes. Is it going to hit retail? Are they going to offer other games? Like, are they going to do a House of the Dead one? That would be crazy, right? Or any of the other light gun games out there. It'd be good to get those. And then also I'm interested to see, are people able to hack these and sideload more light gun games onto the device as well? Or can they make these work with like the PC, with any game on the PC or something? So we'll have to see where this goes using this AI technology. Very interesting though, product to hit this year on Kickstarter. So go check out the game light gun. Devastator Omega says the demand is there. Just took someone like Glenn to step it up and get it done. Absolutely. Glenn has killed it, breaking over 500,000. All right. So that is your GRS Buildicade. Kickstarter's over. We're now getting into the production of that cabinet now. Moving on into production. So next I wanted to talk to you guys about the Mortal Kombat Legacy Kollection. So this is great, right? This is a collection of all your old, you know, original Mortal Kombat games 1 through 4, as well as I saw like Deadly Alliance is going to be on there now, but it may be, and don't get your hopes up, it may not be like the PS2 version. It may be the handheld version, which I think like came out on the Game Boy Advance. So mostly the big hitters in this are going to be your Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, 4 are going to be the big ones, right? Deadly Alliance will be on there. but it's looking like it's going to be the Game Boy Advance version, not the GameCube, PS2, or Xbox version, is what I'm predicting. I don't know if we've heard yet for sure on that, though. But there were 2 other releases that we're going to talk about here in a second that got announced as well. So the library of games on this collection or on this release are increasing. They're adding more games as we speak. It is going to officially release on digital on September 30th. So we're about a little less than 5 weeks away now from the digital release. I'll probably get it on Steam on September 30th. Just like I did with like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I'll buy the digital day 1. And then a physical release is scheduled for December 12th. And that's going to be Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch 2, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Windows, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. So the question is, what system do I get it on when the physical release comes on December 12th? Also, they've added to the list of games as well. So they have added Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero. And I remember this game very, very well. This game was one that I actually picked up on PlayStation when it came out. And I remember when they had released this game, Sub-Zero Mythologies, the whole plan was to release like a game for each character, right? To have a Mythologies Scorpion, to have a Mythologies Raiden, and end up doing all the characters eventually and doing like this like role-playing fighting game, just make it more of a story-based game, get them complete, like try to have like a line of games that are outside of the fighting games where it offers more than that and it's a different style of game using those characters, using that license. And that was their whole idea with this. And that just did not work out. The first one that came out was the Sub-Zero for PlayStation, Nintendo 64, and I had it on PlayStation. It was just a terrible game. It was not good at all, and I will never forget just how bad it was. So that one's coming to it, and then right after that was the Mortal Kombat Special Forces. This released after Sub-Zero Mythologies. And this game was also not very good. I actually ended up never getting this one, Special Forces, just because I heard it was so bad. I wasn't going to waste my money around that time getting another Mortal Kombat game. And that's kind of where Mortal Kombat started declining, right? They came out with some good releases after this, but they just never got the recognition or the sales of the original Mortal Kombat games because really these games kind of were its downfall at that time. Just some really bad games came out, and they were just trying new things, trying different, things with these games, and it just didn't work out for them. But they're adding these 2 to the collection. So I think when you get a collection like this, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, it doesn't matter if they're good games, bad games. I think any additions are going to be great, right? The more the merrier. So just keep adding games. I don't care if they're good ones or bad ones. Just get as many Mortal Kombat classic games from the 90s, from the early 2000s that you can get on this collection. And there is Glenn's Retro Show right now in the chat saying thanks to everyone who helped back and get the word out on the GRS Buildicade FU. Good to see Glenn in the chat. He's saying, yes, she did say that, Brooklyn Menace. Talking about his phone and how when we type on our phone, it always says weird stuff. I run into that problem all the time. But good to see Glenn, and awesome product. Can't wait to see this thing get released and to see how much people enjoy it and see the enjoyment people get out of this machine, because this is going to be something people keep forever, right? Like, I don't see someone buying this and then ever selling it. This is going to be something they probably hand down to their kids. Maybe their kids hand it down to their kids. And then, maybe 100 years from now, someone's saying, this is the GRS Buildicade FU. There are only 300 of these made in the whole world, and we've got one right here, still in good shape, still running today because it's all quality stuff. So now we've talked about the Mortal Kombat collection, right? What collection do we get? Which one do we get? Do we get just the basic one, which comes out for the consoles, or do we get the deluxe version, which we went through on a previous stream, all the extras you get with the deluxe? I think I'm going to get the deluxe because I can get it on December 12th or whenever day that is, and I'll get all the extras with it. And then they've got these ones too. Atari is selling on their website. I think you have to pre-order to get these though, which is like your Smoke, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Reptile colors on the art, box art. These are really cool too, but I doubt I'm going to go straight through Atari and pre-order just to get that artwork. I'm leaning more towards the deluxe collection because it's a reasonable price. It's only like 20 bucks more and it gives you some nice extras. And then there's this Legacy Collection through Limited Run, which this is like your ultimate one, which I would love to have because it has the Goro controller holder and all that. But this, I hear, expect this sometime next year. It may be March next year. It may be, June, July next year. Who knows with Limited Run? So I don't think I'm going to take the risk on that and wait that long. Just not worth it, to not know when you're getting it. So this one's out for me, but it is a very cool collection what they're doing with this one too. So digital September 30th, that's a for sure thing. Getting that day one, and then I'll likely end up getting the deluxe version for probably my PlayStation 5. But who knows? I may own a Switch 2 by then. By December, depending on how Black Friday goes, if they have some deals on the Switch 2, I may end up getting Mortal Kombat Collection for Switch. Brooklyn saying, are these going to have a documentary footage on the game disc? If it does, then I'll buy it. I don't know. I'm sure it will. I mean, looking at the ads and the promotions for this game, I would not scratch that off the list. I would definitely say there's probably a very high likelihood they're going to have a lot of documentary type videos and content on here. I would imagine like tons of content, like behind the scenes, unlockables, extras, all kinds of things that you can dig into about the history of Mortal Kombat within the game. Jabba's Game Hut says MK2 for the Super Nintendo is all you need. Brooklyn says get it from Atari and you get the choice of the slipcover exclusive to Atari. He's talking about these. These do look really cool. I'll give him to it on that. I'd like to get that Sub-Zero one. Devastator Omega says Switch version code only or game actually on the cartridge? Good question. I hope it's on the cartridge because that would go into, which version I get. Do I get PlayStation 5 or Switch 2? If it's just like a cart and has nothing on it and it's just a code in there and I'm downloading the game, then that probably won't happen. I won't get it that way. But yeah, we're getting very close now on that one. All right, so something else I wanted to talk about, talking about these like arcade nostalgia, like older games and stuff like that. This hit this week, this news of this He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, the Dragon Pearl of Destruction. I thought this was really cool. I was a big collector of He-Man as a kid. I had like the whole collection. I was talking to A-Tran Fanatic about this last night, and he collected action figures a lot growing up, but he couldn't own He-Man because he was in like a religious home, and his parents wouldn't let him own He-Man. And I have a very similar story to what he has, except mine's a little bit different. I had like the full collection of He-Man. I had like the Castle Grayskull. I had all the characters, right? All the action figures. I had the whole collection. Hundreds of dollars in action figures. And my parents came into my bedroom. I was probably like 6 or 7 years old. My parents come into my bedroom and they're like, yeah, we're not going to let you have these characters anymore. We went to church today and they were talking about He-Man and how He-Man's evil, and we just don't want this to be in our home anymore. So we're going to box up all your He-Man action figures and we're going to throw them away. And they're like, what do you want us to replace them with? And I chose G.I. Joe. So they bought me a bunch of G.I. Joe action figures. And I just never really liked those as much as the He-Man. I was very disappointed. I actually never really even played with the G.I. Joes because I was so disappointed. And now these He-Man action figures, they're... I got some video from Starfighters last night. They got a bunch of them behind cases, glass cases there. I may have to make a short out of that, showing off all their action figures. But they got a bunch of He-Man there. And it was cool to see this game release because I'm so far removed from He-Man. You know, I was like 6, 7 years old when that happened. And I really haven't experienced anything from this license or this franchise since then. So cool to see this game get announced. It's like a side-scrolling beat-em-up. So just like TMNT, just like Streets of Rage or Power Rangers or that new Marvel one they're doing, they're coming out with the limited run is coming out with this He-Man Masters of the Universe beat-em-up game. We didn't get a lot in this teaser as far as the actual gameplay and the game itself, other than we know it's coming next year. You get some very brief looks at the game, but I think it looks good so far in what we're seeing. I hope they're not just throwing this out there as like a cash grab using He-Man as the way of doing it. I hope they actually make a quality beat-em-up and give it its justice, because this is a great idea. It's I don't remember even hearing about or seeing anything about He-Man in a long time, other than we are building a Mattel theme park down the street here in Glendale, and there's going to be some He-Man rides there whenever they finish that theme park. But outside of that, I haven't heard or seen much about He-Man at all till this hit this week. So very cool. I'm definitely going to pick this up when it comes out. You know, where I didn't pick up the Power Rangers game, I was kind of into Power Rangers growing up, but I was big into He-Man. So this will just be like a day one pickup for me whenever it releases. I don't think we have a release date yet on when it's coming out. But it looks very cool. Tomato Sauce says, I'm glad MK4 is finally being released. It deserves some live, and I'm happy it's getting it. Oh, some love. I can't think of a bigger, Mortal Kombat fan than Tomato Sauce. So I can't wait to see his reaction when this releases, see his shorts, his videos of him playing it. Brooklyn saying if it has crossplay, then he's going to go with the PS5. He also says he's getting whatever is the most deluxe edition of the He-Man game and displaying it next to his Castle Grayskull. So he still has the Castle Grayskull, which I used to have. I wish I still had mine. Calvin Wong says, oh no, your parents threw away thousands of dollars. I know. Oh man. Brooklyn says, same developer as Xenocrisis, Terminator 2D, and Final Vengeance, so you know they're going to do a good job. I hope they do. And Battle Axe, which is fantastic as well. So that's your He-Man game, which got announced this week. Not much information on outside of just that release. So I did want to talk about like a little bit of Wii U, because I had that big Wii U stream, that marathon stream last weekend. Had a really good time with that. And I told you guys I was going to get this Tatsunoko versus Capcom game, and I got a killer deal on it. I offered him $20, and the freaking guy didn't deliver, right? He didn't send it to me. He canceled my order. I reached out to him. I was like, hey, why did you cancel my order? And he said, well, he thought he had it in inventory, but he didn't. So I don't know if that was a real story or not. He's like, I got a bunch of other games on my storefront. You name it. You name any game left on my storefront, I'll give you an incredible deal on it. And there just wasn't anything I was even the least bit interested in that he had for sale. So I couldn't take advantage of that. So I lost out on the Tatsunoko versus Capcom, unfortunately. So my poor fighting stick I just bought for the Wii will only be played by Tekken Tag 2. But that's okay. I'm still shopping this game. I just haven't come across a good price. I mean, people are asking upwards to $100 for this game. So it's just really unfortunate that this $20 price fell through, because that was such a great price. And I think that may have had something to do with it, is he came back and he's like, you know what? I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have accepted that offer. And I think that's what happened. I think he took it off the store, didn't ship it, because he's like, I can get a bunch more for this game. Chelada Love's here saying, greetings, everyone. Hey, Biggie D. Good to see you, Chelada Love. Glad you made it. Just talking a little bit of Wii U here. So I did get my Star Fox. I told you I bought this, and I actually bought it and bid on it live on air during my marathon stream last weekend. It got delivered yesterday. Box is in excellent condition. It has the electronic manual in there, has the disc, no scratches on the disc. So very happy with this purchase, $8. And this is a really fun game. Just playing the demo that I have, really fun. So I can't wait to jump into this Star Fox Zero. And I've always been drawn to Star Fox when it comes to Nintendo. Like when it came out on Super Nintendo, obviously it was like mind-blowing because it had that FX chip on the SNES. But even when it came out on GameCube, I remember when I bought my GameCube, there were 4 games being offered as free games available to you. Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion, this one, and there was a 4th one. I can't remember what that 4th one was. But I chose the Star Fox RPG game that was available for it. And that RPG game wasn't that great. But they got, with the Zero for the Wii U, they went back to the actual Starfighter, you know, aircraft in space, shooting stuff and all that again. And it's cool, like the ship is like a transformer. It turns into like a walker. It turns into all kinds of stuff. So it'll be a lot of fun playing this one. Brooklyn Menace says you got too good of a deal, and I'm sure he still has it. I bet he does. I bet he just canceled my order because he's like, I made a mistake, and I shouldn't have done that. So with this $20, right, I was like, what am I going to do? Am I going to keep bidding? And I did that for a few days, and I just wasn't getting any results. The people weren't even getting close to this offer. I even offered one guy upwards to $33 on a bid, and he didn't even accept that. He never got below $39.99. And I just stood firm. I was like, you know what? I'll just keep waiting. I don't have to jump into this right now. The game's already 15 years old, so no rush. So what I did is I went to a website called Green Man Gaming, and they had Street Fighter 6, which is on sale right now on Steam for $29.99. I got it for $25.49, no tax on Green Man Gaming, so go check them out. $25.49 out the door for Street Fighter 6. And this is a game that I've been waiting to play for a couple years now, almost 2 years I've waited for this roster to fill out and for the price to come down. And I'd released a short last month about Sagat finally getting released for Street Fighter 6. And that was a little bit of my disappointment with this newest one, is they went away from the classic, you know, known characters in Street Fighter 6. There's some spread out throughout the game, but mostly all new characters for like a newer, younger audience is really what they're going for. But when Sagat was announced, I was like, all right, time to get Street Fighter 6 because that's my favorite character. I'm always most competitive with that character. And then I checked my fight stick. I have like what's called the Mayflash F101 fight stick for the PC. Made sure it worked with this game. Works great. So I bought it. $25. I thought that was a decent purchase. So this is the roster, but then they had just released Year 3, which just got released this month, and it'll be ongoing. The Year 3 DLC it'll be ongoing throughout spring of next year. So Sagat just released, Sea Viper's about to release, Ingrid will release next year, early next year, Alex will release around March of next year. Alex is from Street Fighter 3, so he's a good character. Sea Viper, she's from Street Fighter 4. And Ingrid, I'm not sure who she is or where she's from, but she may be a previous character as well. So some really good characters are starting to finally hit the roster. But I played it all the way through yesterday with my new fight stick, and I had a really good time with it. I played with Cammy, because I've always played with Sagat, or I've played with Cammy. Those have been my characters, always my go-tos, right? So I played it single player all the way through. Had a really good time with it. And what's cool is when you finish the game, it shares all this like artwork with you, Street Fighter artwork. And at the end of the game, this is the artwork I got for Cammy, which I thought was really well done. Pretty cool. Like, not only is the art really cool and like the color scheme and like how it's presented, but also just like how Cammy looks in this photo. very provocative, but I liked it. You know, great game. Very artistic, colorful, flashy Street Fighter is what I can say about it. And it is a lot of fun. And glad I waited a couple years because I got a decent price on it. And also I'm going to get to play the characters I really wanted to play from the beginning. But I'm probably going to be spending hours on hours playing this over the next few weeks. So if you guys see me, Street Fighter 6, you know, come challenge me. I'd like to play y'all online. I got it for Steam. So you'll have to add me to Steam. I added Retrotech to Steam today, friends with him on there. You guys invite me to some competition, some battles, and we'll battle it out on Street Fighter. Calvin Wong says, I see that some Tatsunoko versus Capcom 30 to 65 on Macari Nintendo Wii. I'll have to check that out, Calvin. You had mentioned that site before. I've never used them before. But second time you've mentioned them you did on a previous stream as well. I'm going to have to go check out that website and see what bidding or what's available on there, because I do want to get that game. Devastator says, I just couldn't get into Street Fighter 6. It's okay, but I had more fun with Street Fighter 4. I'll try it again, see if it grows on me. I liked it. If you got a good gaming PC, it looks amazing. I'm sure it looks good on PS5 and Xbox also. And then I heard it looks best on Switch 2 of all systems. So surprising to hear that, but this game actually looks and plays the best on the Switch 2. It was one of the launch games, and they redeveloped it, you know, remastered it for the Switch 2. And I hear it looks and plays even better than even on a high-end gaming PC. So awesome game, though. Ooh, Cammy. Yeah. I had a lot of fun playing it with her last night all the way through. And what's cool is you can select like the classic moves. Like you have the option of like modern buttons and modern moves, or you can do classic like arcade moves like you remember from Street Fighter 2. So all that carries on into Street Fighter 6. You just have to change it in the settings to make that happen. So very cool, guys. Great stuff tonight. Trying to think of anything else that I wanted to discuss with you. The only thing I want to remind you guys of is going to be this X Arcade Summer Sale that's going on. Use ATV15 to get 15% off. And then I've also got a code for you guys that you can use. So, or not a code, an affiliate link. Make sure to use that link right there in the chat. I'll try and put it in the description. So if you guys are interested in getting an X Arcade, help support me by using that affiliate link. That would be much appreciated. Anything else on my agenda for tonight? Not that I can think of, other than getting into the tournament. You know, getting into the Camp Bloodbrook tournament, guys. Enter into this. I do have a short video that I had planned. Let me get that video up here so you guys can check out what this table looks like. Let's see, where is it? I can get it here in just a second. Bear with me for one moment. Video links, Camp Bloodbrook trailer. Here we go. I remember when this released last year, or it was last year. About 8 months ago it came out. But it's got a very like Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th theme to it. Basically, essentially looks and plays just like a Friday the 13th game. I think that's what it was originally made for. But very cool. It's got great music to it. I'm not going to play the music because I don't want to get a copyright, but I do have that music on the website when you want to go get that information for the tournament. We've got 15 people in it right now. We've got 4 days left to enter. So just for shits and giggles, even if you're not very good at pinball, just get into it, post a score. And when I say post a score, you don't have to with Pinball M. It does it all for you. So like a lot of the tournaments that some of us in the community do, like Retro Legends, Papa Brad's tournament that he does, you have to actually go post your score anytime you get a score. It's a tournament system that's built and integrated into the game. So it's going to keep all track of that for me, make sure it's, for one, a real score, make sure that it's an accurate score and that everyone's getting a fair shot at getting first place. So great tournament system that they have set up in Pinball M. And right now, this Camp Bloodbrook is half off. So you can get this for $2.49. Pinball M, the collection, like the game itself, is free. And it actually comes with Wrath of the Elder Gods Director's Cut for free. And there's a group on Facebook they call themselves Calling All Ballers. And they're doing a Wrath of the Elder Gods Pinball M Director's Cut tournament this week. So you can get involved in that for free. And then for $2.49, you can enter into this Camp Bloodbrook tournament and be a part of Biggie D's Arcades tournament as well. Half off. And that goes on till tomorrow. So that sale will end tomorrow. Go check it out and participate in the tournament. And I'll look to get your name on the leaderboard. So essentially, here's what you're searching for right here. Q98EBYIE19. Here's your music I added, so you guys will be able to hear that theme music while you're looking at the leaderboards. And here's our scores, guys. Went over these earlier, but wanted to wrap up the stream with the scores, since this is a Biggie D's Arcade tournament that we're doing this week. Kelvin Wong said, did you watch Fantastic Four and Superman? Yes. Fantastic Four, 10 out of 10. Superman, 8.5 out of 10. I really liked Superman. I'm also a big fan of James Gunn, so I'm probably a little higher on Superman than others were, but it's a great movie. I liked it. Fantastic Four was a perfect movie. I didn't see anything wrong with Fantastic Four. I've been hearing some things about comic book movies right now. Comic book movies are not doing very well right now because I think there's just like fatigue with superheroes right now. So even Disney, DC Studios, they can have like a perfect movie, a 10 out of 10 movie like Fantastic Four, and it not do as well as what they need it to do because there's just that fatigue going on. It sounds like starting next year, movies are going to start going and be more focused on video games, which is really cool because we love video games. And a lot of this community, that's what we're here for, are to share our video game life, right? So I'm hearing the studios are really gearing up for next year in the 2027, 2028 to do more video game movies. Because in the last year or two, the biggest winners in movies were like Super Mario Brothers and Minecraft. Both did over $1 billion. And those weren't even great movies. Those were just decent movies that did a good job but weren't great. And they did over $1 billion. So there's a new Zelda, a live action Zelda movie being filmed right now. Like that Twisted Metal TV show on Peacock is freaking awesome. Go check that out. So more video game movies. So are we going to get a Killer Instinct movie? Are we going to get a Final Fight movie? Are we going to get a Pac-Man movie? You name it. It may be happening. Jabba's Game Hut says, enjoy the rest of your evening all. I'm off to bed. It's 4 a.m. here in the UK. Devastator Omega says, watch the new Peacemaker season with John Cena. Follows up on the Superman movie. So I've been watching season 1 of Peacemaker. I'm on episode 7 right now. So I'm almost through all of season 1. Really enjoying it. I'm liking it more now than when it released a couple years ago. Just because I'm really up to date on DC stuff right now. So I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to jumping into season 2 as well. So go check out Peacemaker season 2 on HBO Max. But that'll be it, guys. You guys have a great night. Let's take a look at the poll. Right, I'm going to end the poll right before I end the stream. Currently, we have 37 votes. 41% said yes, they already own the X-Arcade Arcade to TV XR. So almost half of the votes they already own it. 14% are not yet, but in my future, that's where I'm at, 14%. 16% say maybe, I'm considering getting one. They're on the fence. They may or may not get one. And then a 30% saying no, not interested. So this product is not for everyone, but for our virtual pinball enthusiast, or maybe someone that's just wanting a quality arcade control panel, the X Arcade's the way to go. And good to see that. So 37 votes. I'm going to end the poll now. And thanks for contributing and letting your voices be heard in that poll. And you guys have a great rest of the week. Have a great Monday morning. I'll see everyone in the next one. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.